Welcome back to the lavaCRAFT server, and in this episode we're going to be finishing my island. So the first thing I need to do before I start building more buildings is to actually finish terraforming the corner over there, as I've yet to complete that. Once I do that, I can start building more buildings, and I think a flagpole would look really nice right here. Like a tall flagpole with a flag. And all the buildings I'm gonna try to match to my little, what did I call this? To my sun, to the port overseer that has TNT. I'm gonna try to match everything to this, and I'm gonna be using the redstone and red sand paths to connect everything up, and that will be today's video. So, hope you enjoy, and let's start with terraforming. And I think it looks pretty good. And I did change to how I originally was going to have it, so but now I can have like a little structure here maybe. It makes like a little bit of that. Okay. A little flat area, build something small there. But now that actual terraforming of the island is technically complete, I ignored that part, but it is done from up from the water level up and up. So I'd have to finish that another time when I have more resources, because I'm now out of a lot of stuff that I would need. But now the next part is going to be finishing my path, because I had this purple wool marked off for the longest time, and I've still yet to actually build the stone wall that goes here. So I'm gonna complete that now. I finished terraforming the island above the sea level, and I have finished terraforming the beach, as you can see just down there. I've also went ahead and built this, a little defense post, um, to defend from any unforeseen challengers, but as I am on the sea. But anyway, this is concludes this video, and hope you join me back to see the village being built.